All right, so today is the last lesson before the test. So you should have had the first part of your Module 1 review completed. We're going to play a Kahoot on that, or we did play a Kahoot in class. And so today we're going to learn the last piece of information, which is a perpendicular bisector. So you should remember from the beginning of the unit, bisect means to cut in half. And now perpendicular means opposite reciprocal slope. So that means to make a 90-degree angle. So we're going to cut a segment in half, forming a 90-degree angle. Let's go ahead and do our do now, which is to check your homework from the previous day. This is on page, I believe it was 30. Let's go back and look. Page 31. Page 31. So let's take a look. First of all, you should have that AB equals, and it said to keep it in point slope form, so it would be 5/6 x plus 3, which equals y plus 3. Obviously, I used point A. You could have easily used point B as well. This would be -3 minus 2. From A to C, again, I had to use the points A and C. Calculate the slope, so I can see that the slope is -2. And I used point x minus 5 equals y plus 2. I used point C as my x1, y1. And then from B to C, my slope is 1/8 x minus 5 y plus 2. All right. Down here, my equation would be 6 parentheses x plus 10 equals y minus 8. And then if you do the distributive property, you get 6x plus 68 equals y. Down here, you should get 1/2 x minus 12 equals y minus 15. And because it says perpendicular, so perpendicular would be a positive 1/2. That's where I get my slope from. And so you get 1/2 x plus 9 equals y when you do the work. All right, you should get y equals -9x plus 10. And down here it says determine the equation of a line that goes through these points. So first I had to calculate my slope, so m equals 3. And then I just chose this as my x1, y1. Remember, when you have 2 points, it doesn't matter which one. So this would be 3x minus 1 equals y minus 1. And then when you work it out, you get 3x minus 2 equals y. All right, let's learn something new. Perpendicular bisector. Once again, if you're given 2 points on the coordinate plane, to find a perpendicular bisector, you're going to use slope, what the term perpendicular means, which is opposite reciprocal. We're going to need midpoint to find where that slope is going to bisect, and point slope form. So basically everything you've learned into one problem. So there's 6 steps, and the steps are spelled out for you right here on page 32. So this is lesson 9, page 32. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is graph the point. So I'm going to graph the point 2, 5, which is here, call it C, and I'm going to graph the point 4, 9, which is here, and I'm going to call it D. All right, so this is this. This is CD, and I'm going to come up with a perpendicular bisector that is going to cut that in half and be perpendicular to it. All right. Second step is find the slope. Well, slope is 9 minus 5 over 4 minus 2, which is 4 over 2, which equals 2. So that's my slope. All right, the second step is to find the perpendicular slope. Okay. So perpendicular to 2 would be -1/2. Opposite reciprocal. All right, so step 3, so this is M. So we've done step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 4 is to calculate the midpoint. Remember, midpoint, x plus x divided by 2, y plus y divided by 2. So to get my midpoint, I'm going to do 2 plus 4 divided by 2, and 5 plus 9 divided by 2. So this is 3, and this is 7. So my midpoint is 3, 7. Check. Start at the midpoint and graph the perpendicular slope. So I'm going to graph the point 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's awesome when that happens. And now I'm going to go down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Or you can go up 1, back 2, like that. And there is my perpendicular. If I could draw a line, that'd be a good thing. Perpendicular bisector. Now if I want the equation, I'm going to use point slope form. This is my point, so this is my x1, y1, and this is my slope. Okay, so I'm going to do -1/2 x minus 3 equals y minus 7. Go ahead and distribute, and you get -1/2 x. Half of 3 is 1.5, which equals y minus 7. And you're going to add 7. So it'll be -1/2 x plus 8.5 equals y. Okay, so those are the 6 steps. So you're going to want to refer back to this page as frequently as you need to. And let's see where we are. So example number 2. Again, the first step is going to be to calculate my slope. Well, first step is to graph these points, sorry. So 3, 5, that's here. We'll call this A. 9, -1 is here. We'll call this B. So we're going to cut that in half and find the perpendicular bisector. So the next thing I'm going to do is calculate the slope. So the perpendicular slope would be +1. Second is my midpoint. 3 plus 9 divided by 2, and 5 minus 1 divided by 2. So this is 6. That's 12 divided by 2 is 6. That's 2. So my midpoint is 6, 2. So that's x1, y1. And here's n. Now I'm going to replace it into the formula. That. So x minus 6 equals y minus 2. So I'm going to add 2. X minus 4 equals y. Now I can go ahead and graph that by taking the point 6, 2, which is here. Which should go through that. And I'm going to go up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. So there's my perpendicular bisector. It's kind of cool. So what we did in class was we did AB partners, boss secretary. So B is the boss, they tell, secretary is the reporter. If you weren't here that day, you need to choose one of these 2 problems and work out all the steps on your own, or do both. All right, your homework is practice numbers 1 and 2, and we're not doing IXL right now, so this would be on page 34 and 35. Okay, you've got the module review part 2. And that's in here. And then you have 15 Khan Academy. Okay, so you've got a lot to work on at this point. Make sure your packet's done before the test so that you can be successful on the test, because that's how you practice.